Ahoy! Hello, how are you? Happy 15th of February. Run! Get your wife a card, a Valentine's Day card for next year. Hide it and put it away with the price of inflation. The cards are going to be more expensive next year. I'm actually sat on the car park looking at a Poundland where everything used to cost £1. Not anymore. Everything costs £1.50. Well, it's not Poundland then, is it? No! With the crap clothing. Pep and Co. How dare they? So, Mickey Mouse Day was yesterday, big corporate, well done Card Factory, well done Clintons, well done all the independent card sales, and all the florists as well. Well done, that's got to last you till Mother's Day. Oh wait, I've already seen Mother's Day cards out already. The big corporate world is seeking to yours affections to your mother, that you must send a card to your mother, or all hell's to pay. Must be a nice card. Can't send a text message, no. More environmentally friendly, no. Has to be a card we've written to mother. Sober up. So, how you doing? Valentine's Day's over for another year. And the podcast, how's it going? It's going to be called, I think, It's Morgan. Because once upon a time, every time I used to walk in the pub, there was this guy, Martin, and he'd always go, it's Morgan. And that's followed me through my entire sort of life. As rather amusing, actually. So I thought, I'm going to work with that, yes. Sorry, Martin, I'm keeping that. If I ever bump into you, which I do now and again in the supermarket, I'm going to try and just grab you to one side. I'm going to record an intro. And, oh, dear. Oh, so I sat in the car and I just nearly saw, well, I saw it, but the lady nearly went into a car with a shopping trolley. Because, of course, she's got to go into Marks and Spencer's food hall for a good quality food. And she could just go over the road to a cheaper shop and get exactly the same thing at quarter of the price. But no, it's to be seen in there with the receipts. Marks and Spencer's food hall and Waitrose and all these other expensive food places. With the receipts around, so when she has a guest around, she can get her best bottle of Prosecco, and really it tastes like crap at the end of the day. Yeah, just having a good old rant. Whoa! So the podcast at the moment, I haven't even uploaded episode 1. It's good to go. It's ready to rock and roll. But I haven't even done anything yet. Why? Let me tell you a tale. It was going to be uploaded on a Saturday night. And I thought, who of a Saturday is really going to be listening to podcasts? But there was a family member's birthday involved. So it wasn't a family meal. We all got to have a family meal. No, it wasn't that this time. All the big disco party with the buffet. No, it was just all round to watch the latest karaoke competition on the television, which just so happens to be The Masked Singer. Now, for God, has it been decades now? There's been a karaoke competition. And they are. You got the Pop Idol. Britain's got the Pop Factor, X Factor, the voice spinny chair thingy-me-do. The Celebrity Pop Factor. The list goes on. Basically, at the end of the day, all it is a karaoke. That's all it is. And I think, is that what sort of Saturday night television has resorted to? A karaoke competition. I used to drink in a pub where every Thursday night there was karaoke and every Sunday night there was karaoke, followed by a local fight. And that used to happen every Thursday and Sunday. In between, there was also the regular fight that was on, very entertaining. With Saturday night was like a tribute act band. It was all right, I suppose, but I never went to them because, Muggins was working. Friday night was like discotheque. Yeah, as I used to call it, grab a granny. And Sunday night back to karaoke. So that was 4 nights of fights and entertainment all in one. And cheap beer with a local rabble. Ah, the good old days. But now, no, can't do that. Now I'm resorted to being forced to watch karaoke competitions with The Masked Singer. And oh my God, if I ever wanted to bash my head into the wall. Well, people, they wear a mask and you have to sort of guess who the unemployed celebrity is. And the one I watched, this was a few weeks ago because of the timing and all that, it was someone from Steps, that cheesy 90s band who would go around all these arenas doing tours as 90s music in the early 2000s that I only enjoy when I'm close to passing out from alcohol abuse. even then, it's because of the alcohol abuse. Thank God it doesn't come out now, because when I stopped, I still drink, but in the pubs and all that, and the discotheques. The way it was when I stopped, the last song that played in there, it got stuck in your head. You'd be that drunk, you could just download it for £1 or 59p, but it went up to £1. Thank you, iTunes, gits. I want my battery power back. But basically, it was the last song, and you pay £1 for that. And you can look at your playlist, go back to your iTunes or wherever you bought it from, and if you can select a date purchased and scroll back and just go through this, because this is over, I would say 10 years, but we're looking 15 years now. Jeez, it's a decade and a half now, where it is your music and you purchased, and it tells you the time and the date you bought it, and you can work out that's when I come out the pub, then that was such and such night when such and such copped off with so and so, and that was the night so and so got knocked out, and his tooth mark's still in the wall of the pub. So it's very embarrassing. I'm so glad, but that was that with The Masked Singer, and it was sort of guest a celebrity, and I was like, well, I don't really care. And the other one was a comedian who sang with the sort of Wurzel, sort of Cornish accent, I believe. But what gets me this, everyone watching it is so deeply involved. I was at the buffet table, because there was a little spread. I was at the buffet table eating all the stuff I shouldn't be eating, wheat and sugar and things like that. Bloody hell, did I feel it the next day going through. But I was watching this, and just over the years, there's just been nothing but crap karaoke competition. Remember Gladiators? They used to have that in Birmingham with a ka. And the other guy, he got in trouble for John Fashion. Was it John Fashion? Yeah. Anyway, the guy who presented, I don't know, I can't remember. I have to look it up, but I don't have the facilities to look up facts if I get them wrong right now. I think it was John Fashion. Correct me if I'm wrong. Apologies if it's not, but he got into some sort of trouble for something to do with football while he was a football player, and presented Gladiators. Now, that was a programme. That was somewhat entertaining as well. And endless QI on Dave. What happened to that? It was just like a whole night of QI. You learnt something, rather than shouting, get it off, without spending £20 for 2 songs. You know what I mean? You got a whole thing of this, and you got these presenters. I'm like, are you really enjoying it? But then again, I look at what I do for a living, and I look at what they're doing. Let's compare the work ethic they have compared to what I have for my paid job, which I do very, very, very put 100% effort into when I'm there. That'll cover me back. What else has happened as well? Oh, it's a British podcast. I suppose we'll have bang on about the weather, haven't I? Yes, there's some ladies trying to pull up next to me. Might cut that out. Yeah, there's a problem with working on here. I won't be able to do certain things because people need to learn to park. And I'm very much correctly inside the bay. I should know. I've lost my train of thought now. There may be an edit. So the future of where this is going. I've listened to some podcasts to get some research on it. I found a very interesting one. I'm going to talk about it. And I would recommend you go and listen to her podcast, because it is entertaining and informal. And a little bit rude as well. It's called Sex with Emily. You don't have sex with Emily. She's a sex therapist. How you go about that, I don't know, but sounds very interesting. And, you know, she takes phone calls and gives advice and basically slams as many product things down your throat. Get 10% off with Emily, with the code Emily10. Every other sentence that comes out, I thought that was amusing. But fair play, she's getting money for talking about kinky stuff, but she's helping people with that department as well. Sometimes we all need a little help. So go to her website and get your blue pills, and don't use Adam 10% because you won't get no money off. But she sometimes, this is the interesting bit, takes phone calls. Now you can hear it in people who generally need help. In the voice, who need help, who have a problem in certain sections of that department. And she's very good at giving the advice and things like that. But when the men phone up, these are the interesting ones, because I think, do they really have a problem, or are they just trying to get their rocks off? Asking her, and then, what sort of trousers are you wearing? Are you wearing level ones? I like you in level ones. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And you got the other guy going, hey, my wife wants to explore her bisexuality, and I have no problem with that. It's one of her fantasies to be with another bisexual woman. I'm like, no, she doesn't. She doesn't even know you're making a phone call, you dirty bugger. But it's these things where there's lots of dirty buggers. Well, I'm quite lucky because I know, well, I don't know if they still exist now, but back in the day, there was these dirty numbers you could phone up and there'd be someone at home pretending to wear panties that would basically, in a nutshell, talk dirty and say naughty things. And it would cost around £1.50. I imagine it's like £4 or something now with inflation. Over £5 an hour. No, an hour, a minute to talk dirty words to a lady. Where I've got the advantage, I can phone my wife for free because I've got unlimited minutes to my wife, which I pay for. Unlimited minutes. So it doesn't cost me a penny. Ha 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 ha. So all you dirty men, you just need to get a loving wife. A very loving wife, and get on a good mobile phone contract. Unlimited minutes, and you can phone away. Quality probably won't be as good. Definitely won't be as good. But it normally does involve about make sure you've done the painting, as in dirty talk. Do the washing up. Did you put the washing machine on for an extra spin? Did you do the gardening? Did you get the weeds out from the front? Did you refill the squirrel table? It's the long story, the squirrel table. But basically, yeah, the sort of what you pay for, which I can't be doing. And I'd rather talk to my wife about dirty undies. I don't mean like, ooh, dirty. I mean, ugh, undies. And what setting they've got to go on in the machine. So, yeah. Happy Valentine's Day for those who celebrate it. And well done, Card Factory. And Clinton's and all the other card shops. When's Greta Thunberg going to get on the case on that one? Good, you know, all these regular men at the last minute with the cards. And Christmas, Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays and Easter. Why do we have Easter cards? That's another thing. With all these cards to tell someone what they already know in a card. Happy new home, happy new washing machine, happy new games console, happy pass your driving test. Thank you, teacher. Thank you, cards. It can all be done in the text. So with all this environmental stuff going on in the world today, they're banging on about plastics, but really, shouldn't they be focusing on these cards, greetings cards? Get rid of the greetings cards. And I reckon the world would be a better place. There'd be one or two more trees for Squirrel Munchkin to make a nest and for the birds to go in there and shit on your car when you're parked underneath it. So that's my thing. Just get rid of the greeting cards and Greta Thunberg can have a day off. Jesus Christ. The joys of trying to record in the wild. It's like these, like TikTokers that I'm getting off because I don't want the Chinese knowing my passwords and stuff. And all that, I suppose, YouTube shorts as well. Sat in the car recording, oh, I do this and I do that. And they're trying to do a joke that they've probably seen or read from somewhere else going on. But me, I'm doing it podcasty style, so microphone plugged into the phone and just recording off the phone and maybe a bit of editing there. That's the general plan, because if I'm at home, the wife's there. Wouldn't want to disturb the television watching. Again, it was broadcasted on television. Oh, she likes this program. I'll buy the DVD box set. Buy the DVD box set. Oh, there's streaming services. Amazon Prime, Netflix, Now TV, Disney Plus. The list goes on. There's hundreds of them. Oh, that television program she liked, that I bought her the DVD box set, is on this service. But she'll still watch it on terrestrial television where there's commercials. Why? It's just stupid. Really is. But I'm going to sort of defend 40 Towers at the moment, because apparently it's coming back. Good, I say. Yes, for the time, there were some things that was acceptable that you definitely couldn't do now, because to an individual, it's offending them and their race. But I think people need to look past that. I think there was a brilliant joke off the top of my head with 40 Towers, where it's the anniversary meal, if anyone remembers, or anniversary of Sybil and Basil. They've had a row, Sybil's buggered off, all their friends come round, but Basil's pretending that she's in and she gets someone else. Oh, what was her name? Polly, that was the one to dress up as Sybil 40 in bed. And it was one of the brilliant jokes. And Basil's going, oh, she's upstairs, she's ill. And one of the friends goes, Sybil. Get it? Sybil. Ha, 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 very funny. Then Manuel comes along and he's like, hey, Manuel. Little jokes in there that would probably still work today, because I'm reading lots of articles. Oh, I'm a 26-year-old millennial and I didn't find it amusing at all. None of it. The sense of humour doesn't go. Well, there's a lot of things that don't go well now. Like but people who are apparently witches and burning them. I think calling someone a witch, I call quite a few people that word, but with a B in the front of it instead of a W, and then burning them for that seems a bit impractical right now. Yes, it probably shouldn't be done in the sense of humour, but, you know, what else did we do in the 70s? Well, I wasn't there for a start. What did we do in the 80s? Oh, yeah, your kid's doing trying to learn spelling tests, even though he has a major learning disability. So I'll get really stressed out and bugger off to the off licence to get a pack of cigarettes. Even that word, the English slang for that, which is fags. In America, it's a slur for a homophobic slang. Now, I remember, and people back me up with this, that word was used for a cigarette. So there you go. And I believe in Ireland, it's basically calling them a lazy bastard. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's funny how the world changes, isn't it? From then to now. What's it going to be like next week? It's like films as well. Look at all the films. All right, there was a lot of crap back then. It's like, look at all the Carry On films. Classic British films. Couldn't do them now. Could not do them now. Most of them were crap, and I think the only famous one was Carry On Camping. There was a few others, but Carry On Camping, because somebody's bra or bikini top fell off or sprung out. I don't know, I'll have to go back. Sorry for spoilers for anyone if you've ever watched Carry On Camping. I think I watched it once when it come free in a DVD with a newspaper. Hey, that's another thing that doesn't happen anymore. Free DVDs with a newspaper. No, because everyone's got on these Netflix services now. Spend £10 a month or whatever it is just to flick. And I think I've spoken about that in the last one. Basically, if you are saving up for a house, and me and my wife was asked, do we have Netflix? Just go into a supermarket and buy the gift card. And they ain't going to know that Netflix isn't going to come up on your bank statement, is it? No. So, I think that's number 2 done and dusted. It's not bad for just 5 minutes, just ranting on. Because it's the 15th. Yesterday was Valentine's Day. Imagine a few people walking with a limp. Poor sods who have to clean the hotel bedroom. Then again, it's a midweek one. Who really goes full out on midweek Valentine's? You know, if you are buying a card or a gift for Valentine's Day, just use the Nectar points or whatever, just to get a few quid off. They don't need to know. Say a card's £7. Why you'd spend £7 on a card, I don't know. Use your Nectar points, spend £2, leave the price label on the back. They'll be impressed, the better half. Just don't tell them. Best thing to do. Oh dear. Right, I've got to crack on now with other stuff. Thank you very much for listening. This is episode 2, so I'm quite impressed. I just hope the record button was working. So all the best. Thank you for listening to the end. If there's a comments thing, just hashtag itsmorgan. If you can, be asked. If not, don't worry about it. And I'll catch you on the next one, which will be a bit sooner because I'm going back to my old stuff soon, which I'll talk about that in the next one. Right, have a good one and bon voyage.